So you've probably heard in the news that McDonald's had a very serious data breach where 64 million applicants for jobs at McDonald's had their personal data exposed. However, today I have been reading the news and I gotta say I'm really quite annoyed because most of the headlines are actually plain wrong and at best case wildly misleading. And that is because they claim that the password 123456 was used and that is how the attackers were actually able to access its information. That is incorrect, and I'm going to explain exactly why. The real culprit of this was something called IDOR, indirect object referencing. And conveniently, because a weak password makes a better headline, most of the media outlets have missed the real actual technical reason for this. So I right now in Berlin, I'm here for the We Are Developers conference. I'm in my hotel room, if you're wondering why I'm in a strange setting, and I'm pretty comfortable on my couch. I'm going to say I don't hate this setup. But let's get into exactly what happened. I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy, Philippe Catraghelli, who actually did a little bit of a technical deep dive into this and kind of exposed actually what happened. But let's start. So some of it is true. McDonald's was using a third-party service called Paradox.ai to basically vet or go through the recruitment process with candidates. What would happen is you would chat with this person called Olivia, and spoiler, Olivia is not a person, Olivia is a chatbot, and she would then ask questions or go through personality checks. I said she, I guess I mean it. It would go through personality checks, you'd ask her questions, you'd share your resume with it. And it was this company, this third-party service, Paradox.ai, that indeed was hacked. Now, the media all have claimed that this is because a password was used, 123456, which then gave security researchers access to all of this information. There is a very small slither of truth in that. A weak password, 123456, was used, but it was not used for either McDonald's accounts or an admin account at Paradox. Instead, it was used for a test account. Now, most companies have these such test accounts. Maybe they give them out to people as demos so that they can demo the platform. Maybe it's just them to make sure that they can test things in production and that everything's working really well, right? This particular account has been around since 2019 and contained zero sensitive information within this account. So how then did 64 million records get exposed if this test account that was breached actually didn't have any information inside of it? Well, in walks IDOR. It sounds like a technical vulnerability. It's kind of the stupidest vulnerability that you have. And essentially it goes like this. Once you've logged into a system, you can manipulate data or an object to see information from someone else. And in this case, that just means manipulating the URL. So when you logged into Paradox, it actually had in the URL the user ID. And let's just say that the user ID in this case for this test account was 1234. But if you change it to 1235, the next in sequence, then it will actually show you information from a different user. And that is because the system, once you authenticate in, doesn't do additional checks about the types of information that you're actually accessing. So it basically authenticates you in and then will just run queries or commands to a database to get you relevant information. It doesn't matter if that information belongs to your account or not. Now, in my opinion, this type of vulnerability, which has been in the OWASP top 10, so basically the top 10 most common vulnerabilities for like 15 years, is way more embarrassing than using a weak password on a test account. However, it makes for a way less clickable headline. So thus, we have the problem today. To clarify, the attackers logged into this test account, yes, using a weak password. They then manipulated the URL bar to change the ID, and they accessed a different person's ID. In this case, it was McDonald's, and they were able to access all of that sensitive information. And luckily, there's a security researchers, so they reported it, and this information wasn't necessarily accessed. However, there isn't really any true way of knowing if malicious actors have even discovered this before. Now, why I find it annoying that they've really focused on this weak password is because it's kind of irrelevant in this point. Yes, it was part of the attack path, let's say initial access that the attackers used, but they could have just created an account on Paradox.ai, or they could have asked for access from Paradox.ai, pretended to be a potential customer. There's numerous ways that you would be able to get access to an account, or just sign up for the service. In the grand scheme of things, I kind of find it a little bit annoying that this is the focus. But as I said, look, it does make for a clickable headline. It is a stupid password, and it makes everyone look very dumb. But as I said, I think having IDOR in your vulnerabilities in 2025 is a little bit more dumb. Well, that's what I had for you today. I just wanted to clarify that. I hope you enjoyed my video. Like the video, share it, subscribe it, whatever you do on whatever platform you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.